Shabbat Shalom from Temple Concord. This week our Torah portion has a lot to teach us as Americans. The Torah portion is Mishpatim, laws, and it follows the giving of the Ten Commandments, which came last week, and is filled with laws and commandments. Do this, don't do that, behave this way, don't behave that way. It's a lawyer's dream, this week's Torah portion, and it's filled with all sorts of commands. These laws are given to us just straight out. God says, here, do this, do that. It's not laws like in our country that are legislated, that are agreed upon. And I think the nature of the laws of the Torah portion and how we understand them has a lot to teach us, particularly as Americans living in 2017. We Americans are used to a legal system that allows us to have Democrats and Republicans come together to find some sort of consensus and then to make a law. In more recent times, it's been one party or the other, whoever is in majority power, making the law as it sees fit without working with the other party. That has been a problem for us, and we haven't liked it as a country. We've found that there's been too much bickering and not enough actual working together. But we forget that the original laws that we received from God didn't have any back and forth. There was no legislating. It was God saying, here are the laws, go to it. And it was our commentaries later who wrestle with them and try to figure out what they mean. For us as Americans, that's our challenge now. And as American Jews, we have a particular challenge. The laws that are coming out of the new administration and the new Congress, we may agree with or disagree with. Our challenge now is, what do we do about it? Do we legislate them? Do we protest them? How do we speak out? In an ideal world, we would find that people could sit down together. And the truth is, that's what we need more than ever. We need our representatives to trust each other, to get to know each other, to share time with each other, for their families to share time with each other. But that's not happening nearly enough. Instead, one side is governing and the other side is left in the cold, and there's no sense of what this means for all of us. Some of the laws are laws that we have legitimate disagreements on. Some of them are issues that are issues not just of law, but of conscience. So, for example, the laws concerning refugees and how we're going to welcome them in hit us as Jews in a different way because we've been refugees. And so you've heard me speaking out about the need to be good to our refugees, to let them in and to welcome them. Because for me, it's not just a simple legal or political issue. It's an ethical one and a moral one. Our laws in the Torah portion this week cover a wide array of issues. And the commentaries that grow out of those laws span volumes and volumes and volumes. And our tradition wrestles with every word and every nuance of all of those laws. In a sense, they're giving us the model to handle the current situation. The law comes from God. The law comes from Washington. We can choose to accept it or to explore it. If we choose to accept it, that's it, we're done. If we choose to explore it and wrestle with it, we figure out, why did we need this law? How does it work? Is this how we're to follow it or not? That may allow us to then pursue legal action, challenging it in court. It may push us to go protest in the streets. It may push us to do all sorts of different things. But the Jewish way is to wrestle, to get involved, to get engaged, to not just sit back and take the law and the commandment passively, but to actively do something with it. This is what we need in America today. We need citizens who will respond, who will look at the law and not just say, oh, that's Washington and they're separate from us, but rather will engage. This is frankly the beauty of what's happened the first month of this new administration. Whether you agree with them or not, the rise in citizen involvement is a good thing. And I hope it continues. And I hope it continues, frankly, on both sides of the aisle. We are all strengthened when we're more engaged and more involved. So when you read through the Torah portion this Shabbat, read through the laws for what they are, but also think about how the laws came to be and how we now come to understand them. And recognize that the law is only good if the humans who see the law wrestle with it and interact with it. This is how we Jews have thrived for millennia, and it's how we Americans will endure the usual ups and downs of our democracy. Services Friday night are at 6 o'clock p.m., Saturday morning at 11, preceded of course by Torah study at 10 and text study at 9. Sunday is the end of February break, so we do not have religious school, but we do have all sorts of events coming up in the following week. Our Death and Dying class on Wednesday evening, Talmud class on Tuesday, and we have the Goldenberg series, all sorts of fun things going on at the temple, and Purim is just around the corner. Hamantashen Man will make his return, and there'll be lots of fun. For now, though, I hope you'll engage in the study of law in our tradition and in our society. Our Jewish tradition counts on us to wrestle with these laws and commandments and to make new meaning of them. Our American way of life demands the same thing from each of us. We have to engage, we have to wrestle, we have to get involved. Join me. It's muddy, it's bloody, it's dirty, but there's nothing better and there's nothing more important. Shabbat Shalom. Look forward to seeing you at the temple.